The horns of the devil have appeared in every part of the globe. We see the winds of evil among mankind blow immensely everywhere. Because if we see the atmosphere we are living in, what do we find? Satan everywhere. The atmosphere that we are surrounded by today is no other than an atmosphere of greed, of lust, of competition, of jealousy, of envy, of hatred, of backbiting, of slander, an atmosphere of darkness, devastation, war, turmoil, an atmosphere where the good is looked at as bad and the bad is looked at as good. This is what we are living in. Juvenile delinquency, our youth, and what they are affected by, and what they are affected. Go outside and see what our youth are affected. How many of our young brothers and sisters have we lost to the streets? How many of our Muslim youth have we lost to the clubs and pubs? How many of our youth, Muslim youth, have we lost to drugs? How many of them have we lost to Western culture? How many of them have we lost to alcohol abuse, to hip-hop, to sexual promiscuity? How many? How many? How many of them have adopted patterns of behavior, ways and traditions, culture and customs, which is absolutely repugnant to a sincere belief? We are experiencing a global phenomenon. And what does this mean? It means that we are currently experiencing a monoculture of consumption, consumerism, but the most dangerous of all is Western culture. Western culture, which the entire globe has been eaten by it at an incredibly rapid rate. How many of our youth have been affected by Western lifestyle? How many of our youth have lost their Islamic identity? Where is it? How many of them have lost their Islamic life? Who they are, they have lost themselves. Where their hearts have been influenced by un-Islamic ways. Brothers and sisters, we are facing one of the greatest challenges of our time, that which is known as the dominant global culture. The globalization, which in reality is westernization, but that definitely means no other than Americanization. Americanization. Those who travel the earth, wherever you go on this earth, anywhere in the world, wallahi, in the most remote regions where the people are living in abject poverty, they cannot even afford to have 1 meal per day in those lands. And every other part of the land on this earth, what do we see? We see huge billboards of famous Western actors. Of what? Famous Western actors. Doing what? Advertising no other than haram. Western actors on these billboards advertising the drinking of alcohol, the smoking of cigarettes, promiscuous behavior, nudity, drugs, and all sorts of haram. This is the effect, wallahi, of globalization. This is the effect of Americanization, even to our youth, because these countries, in the most remote regions, a lot of these areas are Muslim. So we are losing these young Muslims to these. When you see a famous actor on a billboard calling out to our youth, crying out to our youth, saying, obey your thirst, obey your thirst. Do you know what that means? What does it mean? Obey your thirst. What does it mean? You can tell me. This is portrayed on billboard. These Western actors in big writing coming out of his dirty mouth saying, obey your thirst. What does it mean? Obey your nafs. Obey your low, commanding, evil, wicked, mischievous ego. In other words, eat, drink, be merry, do whatever you so desire, they say. You only live once. This is their motto. This is their way. This is their life. And unfortunately, we are imitating this. We are living this lifestyle. Nothing other than a central obsession of ignorance of Jahiliyyah. And one of the interesting things about human beings is that we tend to mimic. We tend to imitate. We tend to desire to emulate so-called role models, which in reality they are devilish entities. So when our youth see these famous actors calling out to them, come, this is the life. Don't worry about restriction. Don't worry about prohibition. Don't worry about commandments. Do whatever you so desire. Whatever your nafs tells you, do it. Enjoy. Indulge. Delve into haram. You only live today, they say. And tomorrow you shall die. So don't let anyone stop you. Liberation, they call it. Freedom, they call it. Which in reality is no more than subjugation to the two-horned, ugly, deceiving devil. The message of haram, the message of ignorance, the message of no other than the devil.